figured out how to turn this damn thing on. Let's see. Create. Come on. Create single player. Come on. Come on. Let's go back to here. Let it load. Alright. So these are the free ones. Okay, so let's look at the cards. These will be the bonus cards. Let's go ahead and make these suckers. Oh, let's pop out our chat window. In case Gabriel comes on or something. Let's get bonus dealios. Do these. I don't think I saved the stuff I was working on because the computer crashed over here. So I've got to make this little section again, but this is not that hard. That's what she said. Never gets old. Never. We can get rid of that part. Let's just pull out these. We don't need that. We don't need that. Well, I might need that, so I'll just set that aside. Okay, so 2 sets, and then we'll do a gray as well. Okay, those are the bonuses, and then these. Actually, let's not put the bonus in there. So we'll just suppose that the people know what the bonuses are. These probably need to all be refined when I'm done. These are going to be at -1, and that's a face value. So let me just do one of these. We also want to say what the smallest can be. So we'll do a little square in the corner. Maybe we can do it on the outside. And this will be the number that it can be the smallest it can be. Just says the smallest it can be, and then we'll do this, and this is the gray one, and we're gonna say the gray one. Oh, the gray one. So go here and see what the gray one is. -4. So yeah, we'll just say -4 is the smallest. Okay, so -1 to the face value. This is, oh, duh, I did this one wrong. Got my head in the wrong place. Get your head in the game. -1. Cool. Group. Let me see. Group. 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 Should these be at -1? So why? That's my next question. Is why? Oh, on the bonuses, when it has the little hand, it gives you this value. So this is the bonus cards. So maybe, just maybe, this one should have that -1 as well. Should it though? Okay, let's group, 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 group. Okay. Let's think about these cards. We'll make another thing. We'll save all this in a moment. I got to remember to do two things. One, save everything tonight. And two, okay, so let's make the green one. The green one is, it should be green, green, and it should be green, red, and it should be green, blue, green, gray, green, blue. Okay, and then we'll go green, 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 green. Okay, so that's one set. See, what would be crazy is it's gonna make a shit ton of sets if I do it with the other things, so we'll go ahead and do it. So let's look at purple. We'll have purple, purple is a card. Purple red is a card. Purple blue is a card. Purple green is already done there. Oh, we need green gray, gray, and then here we need, let me see something. Okay, so it's 6. So with that thing, it'll give you the 5. That's cool. Awesome. I'm really doing some confusing shit. And then we'll do this one. Cool. Next set. Is red. So we got red, red. Red green is done. Red purple is done, but red blue is not done. Then red gray. Then the last, that was green. Oh, and then blue. Blue, blue. Okay, blue green is done. Blue purple is done. Blue red is done. Blue gray. Okay, so we could do crazy shit here. So right there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 cards. And that 14 cards will go to a shit ton of cards once I start adding these. Maybe I should do it. I don't know if I want to. That's a fuck ton of cards. Because basically you have this set here, Then you have that set with green. You got that set with purple. You got that set with red, and you got that set with blue. Screw it. Let's do it. We'll make this weird ass shit. Okay, here's the green. Here's another green one, which is this one. Here's another green one, which is this one. Oops. These need to be sent to the back. Go arrange, make sure it's sent to the back. Okay. There's this one. Here's the blue one. And then here is the gray one. Okay. Then let's do the set. These all come with that bonus. We can call it something else. This set comes with that bonus. Comes with this bonus. There's gonna be a shit ton of cards. More than I originally thought. It's raining, which is cool as far as work tomorrow, because work tomorrow means it's probably going to be slow. We'll see. That was that set. That right there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 20 cards thus far. 20 cards. Put that in that corner. Don't need any of this mess. These are continuations of these in the next set. Okay, so take this one off. Take this one off, because it's going to be 4 of them. We can take these off. This is the purple set. Which is purple, purple. Bring it to the front. Okay, and then purple, red. Bring it to the front. Then purple, green. I've already done purple, green. There's purple, green right there. Oh, wrong set. This is a different set here. So this is this one, which we did. Purple, blue. Bring to the front. purple gray. Bring it to the front. Okay, so we'll take these three, move them over here. Try to do this in a much timelier fashion. Delete those. Then we got red, red. Red, 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 red. Then we got red, blue. Oops, bring to the front. Red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, gray. Here. Move down, move down, move down. Came up with a funny name today. No one's gonna like it. It was Meeple Molester. I don't know why it came to my head. I thought it would be funny. I mean, it's not funny, but it is funny. Meeple Molester. Yeah, I've got a fucked up sense of humor. I was thinking about, okay, so like in death metal and black metal, sometimes their musicians will take on a pseudonym. And one guy that I was listening to the other day, which is David Gray from Acker Cocker and Antichrist Imperium. He's also been in Voices as well as My Dying Bride. Anyway, he goes by the pseudonym Blast Vader because he's into like Star Wars and shit. So he's like a geek, but he tries not to be a geek anyway. So, and he loves to, blast beat on the drums. So, Blast Vader. It's pretty funny. Well, if you ask me, it's pretty funny. So I was thinking about pseudonames and let's do a row. Let's do these green ones. Maybe we say that as not a PNG, a JPEG. Call this G row. Where did I put the G row? G row. 0, 0, 1. There's not 100, so we'll do 0, 0, 1. I'll go ahead and copy the name to make it easier on myself. 0, 2. Let's copy that. Save. Three. 4. I like sounding like a country bumpkin. What you saving them cards for? I used to know this artist. I was a up and coming graphic designer, and I basically needed to replace a guy. Well, I thought I was going to replace him. I'm young and stupid. I don't have any experience whatsoever, and I'm replacing this graphic designer that's been doing it for like 10 years or more. And this guy he was a artist who knew a lot about like cartoon art, right? And I'm a young dumb kid. I don't know anything. I think that I'm badass. I think that I'm amazing. I'm full of myself. And so, oops. Here I am starting. This guy leaves or gets sick or gets promised to go work for somewhere else, and he has a bad go of it. So I get hired on. I get paid, very little because I don't deserve to get paid a whole lot. To be honest with you, I'm not very good. And, little do I know that I really suck. I know some of the technical stuff, but this is my first graphic design job. Okay, so to get trajectory from the type of school that I went to, I went to a very technical graphic design school. So they were like this was going to be the guy that taught it ran a print shop. Okay, so like you can be taught a lot of different ways. One of which is a print shop. The other which could have been, let's say, a magazine, which still falls into the print shop style, where you learn a lot of the technical stuff to actually make things run, the job part of it, the non-fun job part. So I went to one of those schools. Or I went to a school that had that type of program. So the other type of program you can have is a type of program where they're design and creative focused. So typically, those make you ready for an advertising firm, but not in the technical sense, only in the creative sense. So advertising firm will come up with the designs. They send them off to another place that actually does the work. And I, since being in the more technical side and not on the artistic side, I knew the technical work, like what it took to get this in on a billboard or what this took to get this in a magazine or whatever. We studied it all. Different type of presses. So I was ready for pre-press. I could have actually worked in a press. I was ready for creativity, but not in a free-flowing way, and not someone that was. I was creative, but I was bound by the technical side. So, like, I couldn't think outside of that. Like, if I would have come up with something really interesting, I still would have had the problem, like, what's this going to cost? Is this possible with our current technology? That kind of stuff. Stuff that's not it's very limited in creativity. It's good because it's very practical, but on the other sense, it's not good because there's a definite limitation on how crazy I can go. Anyway, so me getting a job, basically, okay, so here's the story. I got out of college as a graphic designer, and I took my portfolio to several places, and they looked at my portfolio and said I wasn't ready. Mind you, I had one of the best portfolios in class, and they said I wasn't ready. They said, I really needed experience. And like, well, how can I get experience? Because that's what this is supposed to be. I'm supposed to get experience. I went and tried to hire on with. This is also my stupidity. I tried to get hired on at both print shops and advertising agencies. I should have just stuck with print shops and then taken anything I could have gotten. But that didn't really work out. Nobody liked my portfolio. Of the 3 people that I showed it to, I actually pulled them aside afterward and I said, be frank with me. What was the problem? Was it, my interviews? Because what ultimately was the issue? And they said, you just, like, your portfolio work is subpar. There's people coming out of some of these other schools that have a much better portfolio than you do, and they're not getting the job either. So I contemplated on it, and I was still, I guess, luckily, I was still naive and thought that people would praise you if you did a good job. So I decided, I had a day job at the time. I decided, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk to my girlfriend at the time, and I'm going to tell her, look, we're not going to go out. You can go out, but I'm not going to go out for a week. No, it wasn't a week. I'm not going to go out for a month and not going to party and drink and have fun and all that stuff. I'm going to work on my portfolio. My problem right now is that I don't have a computer like I did at school. And at that time, everything was done on the Mac. I said I can get illegally the software that I need to do a portfolio, but I don't have a computer. So I need to save my money and buy a computer. So I convince my girlfriend, hey, you take care of the bills. I won't, splurge and make it where we're, I'll eat very minimal. I'll get money from my mom. I'll do whatever, but I need to save my paychecks. And so I did. I saved my, luckily we figured it out. I saved my paychecks for a month. And I had enough to buy a computer. And I went to the store to buy a Mac. And luckily the Mac that I wanted, I guess, at the time, that Mac was on clearance, so I got it for half the price. And so with the other part of the money, I bought, a good printer. I bought all the other stuff I needed to make a portfolio, because my plan is going to be, I am going to work my ass off and make the best portfolio I possibly can. And I was naive, luckily, at the time, and thought people are going to see my work and they're going to instantly hire me because of the good work. I'm going to work my ass off and show how creative I can be. So I did. I did that thing. I did a Rocky montage. I worked for, I think it was like 2 weeks straight. I got very little sleep. I didn't go to work. I quit a regular job, or I didn't quit, but I went on hiatus, and I just kept working on my portfolio, and I'd stay up all night doing it. And when I was done, it was like done on a Thursday or a Friday. I scheduled an appointment with a place that was looking for somebody, and I showed them my portfolio. And I got hired by that place. It was the place that I went to go get hired at was an advertising agency. Before, with my original portfolio, they would not have looked at me. Luckily, this place was desperate enough, and they saw enough potential and my eye for design that they ended up hiring me. Unfortunately, it was a studio of advertising. I had a technical mind at the time. Like, some of my stuff in my portfolio was that. It was like, letterheads. Um, like, I did a full treatment. I did like a letterhead, business cards, little notepads, the whole, and an envelope. Excuse me. Nobody goes to an advertising agency and gets that. I mean, you can get that as a bonus to your thing, but that's not, you know. Then I had a whole sheet of logo design and whatever. I got hired with that montage of a portfolio. Afterward, I went to show it to several other people, and everybody was impressed with it, and it was so much better than I had done at school. It was unbelievably better. I felt really good about that part. I get hired. I'm here to. They were desperate enough to get me no experience. They didn't pay me anything extra than you would pay someone who just got started. I didn't know that at the time. At the time, I was working minimum wage until this job, so I thought, wow, this is what it is to make it. It was just a few extra bucks, but anyway. So I'm a bona fide graphic designer working for an advertising agency, and I don't know how to be a completely free designer. I am in my own head about the technical problems that come with printing on an offset printer. I mean, an offset press. But I do my best, and I'm young and stupid. So I did a couple of things that were okay. I thought they were badass, but they were really, looking back on it, I wasn't ready for the job I had. It was too much responsibility. And I was too full of myself to understand it. I thought I had made it, based on this amazing ability, which, I mean, I showed ability and dedication, but I didn't deserve to be considered an amazing graphic designer as I thought I did. So, time came to do, we worked for this bank and they do an annual report. This annual report had a style. And this style used little cartoon characters. Okay. I didn't respect cartooning at the time. I was an artist who did everything realistic when it came to drawing, and I knew what it took to get realistic drawings. So here I am, a dick, thinking I am a great illustrator, which I can do portraiture and whatnot, but illustrator not so much. But what did I know what an illustrator was at the time? I didn't know shit. I had to copy this dude's style, so what I did, instead of what I should have done, would have been take his artwork, mangle it, like take apart his cartoons and piece together with his cartoons that he didn't like, his leftover cartoons. Take his cartoons, dissect them, take off their arms and legs, make new characters by changing colors of stuff and by making new characters by using his arms and his legs and his bodies and faces and just making. I could do that. I had the ability to do that, but I didn't have the intelligence to know, or the wisdom to know, that that's the only way I could pull this off, because cartooning is not as easy as it looks, and if you don't have a feel for it, you can't do it. And I didn't have a feel for it, so I went and drew some shitty cartoons. I mean, I wish I still had those cartoons, because I can remember how shitty they are now. At the time, I thought, I'm a cartoonist too. Like, this cartoon stuff is beneath me. Mine is just as good. And I can remember the faces of the people who, in the agency that I was working at, look at my stuff and basically, like, they knew this is like dog shit. Well, I mean, they knew. How could you not know? You look at it and you're like, oh, this is horrible. So yeah, it was fucking horrible. And I didn't know it was horrible until I saw their faces. And then, I think at the time I was such an ass that I thought they were just biased against me because I wasn't that other guy. And didn't take into account that I cannot fucking make cartoons because I don't respect him and I haven't put any time in it. And this dude, all he did was cartoon artwork. He'd make these campaigns, and all the campaigns always had this little cartoony stuff. And they were good. They were well-drawn cartoony stuff. He knew how to do cartoony stuff. Anyway, they made me mangle up all the other ones and do what I had originally said, where I just take off pieces and make new artwork. Everybody was in panic mode at that time, and whenever I did that, everybody was happy. I wasn't, of course, because I was too much of a jackass to be happy and see that they had done me a favor. So, I forgot what's the point of all that. I'm sure something made me think of cartoon artwork and shit. I try to remain humble and remember that you're not as good as you think you are. In fact, you're quite a bit worse. You can't bullshit your way through. If you don't respect the work, then you're never going to be any good. Let's see. Start here with 1. Okay, 1. This is 2. I'm going to take a look at 2. I should have numbered. If I ever take my own advice, remember your fucking cards. That's the best advice I could give anybody. Number your shit as you're going. 2. But I'm not going back. 2, 3. This is 4. And I know I'm gonna have to fuck with this shit even more. Oops. Four. This one's 5. Uh, 6 maybe? That was 5. Gray, gray, green, green, purple. So that was 6 actually. So this is 7. 8. I was a pretty screwed up kid or young man. But I mean, you have testosterone. You have just being a young person. Also, my shit with my mom and not having a father and all that shit fucking screwed me up like a mofo. I didn't have any examples of how to be a real man. Or not even a human. I didn't have any examples of how to be a decent human. Of all the great qualities my mother had, I don't think teaching could ever be one of them. I can remember my mom saying, if I had all your talents, she was talking like my ability to draw and just be creative and stuff like that, she said, I would really want to teach other people to do what you do. Or something like that. And I remember thinking, if you could do the things that I could do, you wouldn't want to teach a soul. Because she lives in a very, I think she lives in a very zero-sum world. And for her, teaching somebody else to do what she does would mean one less job for her. I think. I could be wrong. I could just have a very negative view. And for me, teaching isn't easy. It's hard to teach people whenever you consider, like, if, like, not consider, but like, I have a problem trying to teach people because it's hard for me to understand how they learn. And if you could understand how somebody learns, it's easier to explain it in a way that they can digest it. I'm one of the worst at that kind of a thing because I expect everybody to learn in the way that I teach it, and that's not the way it works. So that leaves me to try to teach people that can learn the specific way that I can teach. And that's not really being a teacher. It's being like a convenient teacher. Like, I'll teach you if it benefits me, or I'll teach you if it's not skin off of my back. Which is horrible. So I am doing Sober October involuntary. I mean, voluntary in I'm not choosing to drink anything. But I didn't choose to do Sober October. I didn't say, hey, it'd be cool to do Sober October this year. So maybe I can break that tomorrow. I don't know. I'm going to talk to Sarah and see what she thinks. I guess I just don't want to do Sober October. And I really don't have a huge craving to drink. I just don't want to do Sober October. That sounds stupid, doesn't it? I started Hellraiser, and I don't like what it is so far. Okay, so I'm gonna say Hellraiser is not as good so far as 1 and 2 and 4. For me, the original Hellraiser had a story. Purple blue. I think it's this one, so we'll go to 32. Like it was originally called Hellbound Heart, the first one, and it was a story about becoming older. It was a story about, it had all this nuance about the characters. 34. Like it was a real story. It was about infidelity. It was about ambition, or sometimes lack of ambition, of the original Cotton Father. Also, I think it told that classic tale of, what you need versus what you want, unbound passion versus safe passion, or versus safe love. Had all these interesting things that played off of each other. It spoke about bondage as well. Not just, the sexual type, but I believe it went deeper than that. I mean, sure, I just started this new one. This is 40. $41. Let me take a quick break, see what she says. Oops, not that. Not that. So we'll go here. Custom. Which one are we looking at? We're looking at that one. So we'll go 42. $44. So I'm only like 15 minutes in. I'm seeing lust. We'll see what else I see. It doesn't bother me that they decided to go with a female Pinhead. That doesn't matter. I don't think it's good nor bad. It's almost insignificant. Okay, so I like the character, the dark character of Pinhead. I don't. Okay, so I like that he has a story as well, and who he gets. Like they try to show like that he's a tortured soul. Like Pinhead had a soul and he's tortured, and how he got to the thing where he's Pinhead. But I don't think they ever did a really good job of showing that these two people are the same. And mind you, that's a hard thing to do. I think what they showed us is 51. Oops. I screwed that up. So that goes here. This should be probably 52. Is that 52? Yeah, 52. They showed us a character that we're supposed to know can be redeemed and has a redemption story, but that we don't necessarily care about their redemption story because there's no connection between the two. Between Pinhead and who he was before he was Pinhead. Like, I don't know. I think it would have been better to show that there was an individual in between the two. Like who he not who he was and who he is only, but the merging of the two, where he had a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I mean, they tried to show that, but they didn't do a good job of it. Okay, so let's say they have these three. Okay, so when they look at this, they go here. They got a green 4. Wait, not that kind. They can get a green 4. They can get a red 4. They can look here, and then this one gives them a red. They got red, which are actions, red, and a purple, which are sad faces. It probably doesn't give you enough sad faces. Or is it when you hit those, you can spend them? I don't know. It's going to be a good question. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. I don't know if I want to do part 3 tonight, but we're going to stop. We did the set of cards, so let's go ahead and save. I've got a big day tomorrow, and I don't want to stay up all night. I'll overwrite that. So I am going to call it a night.